last game, to be honest, was a little disappointing from the defensive side of the ball. I don't think that we defended at the level required. I told the guys before the game, I said, you're going to score enough points. The question is, can you get enough stops? And, right now at this point, we have a certain expectation of them. They have kind of ascended their play on the defensive side of the ball. And what you got to understand is that once you ascend to a certain level, then you have a responsibility because it's expected, from the coaches and from your teammates for you to perform at that level, and I don't think that we actually defended as well as we needed to in order to compete at the level that was required to win on the road. Looking forward, to playing these next 3 games, 2 at home and 1 on the road, and kind of seeing if we can remedy whatever was going on Saturday. Part of it is an experience. Part of it is also accountability, individual accountability. I think that, we have our challenges. We don't get to practice against each other. We don't have those numbers. So I think some of it, is kind of lost because we're not competing at that level every day. And then, to try to bring it out on game day, it's a little challenging. So I do give them that. Some of it is fatigue, because we don't have, big numbers, and, fatigue does play into it. Part of it is a little bit of inexperience, but there's also a discipline that comes with that, and that's an individual thing. And for us coaches to continue to ask the players to be disciplined on that side of the ball. Yeah, part of my one of the goals that we personally had this season was to make sure that those guys enjoyed their season. And I don't know if it was going to come from wins and losses, but just the overall aura in the locker room, the partnerships with their teammates, and that's one thing that I do believe has been really solid all year long. I think that they've enjoyed their experience with their teammates, beyond the court. Their leadership in the locker room, has been there. Really appreciate their efforts. Obviously, thankful that they both returned to play for a new coach, and I'm hoping that they have enjoyed, their final season here in Charlotte. We didn't shoot the ball well. I think if we can shoot the ball a little better, that would be helpful. I know that the big kid is really patient on the interior, and it's a double guy. So we're going to have to guard him at times one-on-one, but also double him and kind of keep him off balance. Their offense is kind of geared to force you to make quick decisions, and we got to do a really good job of understanding the game plan and the scouting report. Not turn the ball over like usual is a key for us, and not giving up transition baskets. I really don't know what the players talk about. I wish I did, but they do repeat, in public, kind of the things and the messages that we share as coaches. So they do hear what's being delivered. Right now, my message to them today, will be that we do have 3 games coming up, and that these 3 games are really important. But we have to address them one game at a time, and literally almost one timeout at a time as we go. And we just got to put, all the experiences that we've had, up to this point together, the good ones, and see if we can play, 3 consecutive games of really high level basketball. I really wish that the freshmen would have been able to play without injury this year. I think that has been our biggest kind of thorn, this season has been, Cooper was out for a stretch, and, then Malik was out for a stretch, and Brandon's been out for a stretch. And, I think as they were ascending and growing, those injuries kind of brought them back, and then they had to pick it up again. The one thing I will say about the freshmen is that their presence, has been obvious. When they're not on the floor, they're missed. When Cooper was out, you miss his toughness, and Malik is out, you miss his scoring. Brandon's out, you miss part of his defense and kind of his length on the floor. So, they all have tremendous value. I've enjoyed watching them grow. And this is, like I said before, this is a journey for us. There's no arrival, there's no destination. Even these next 3 games, this is part of our growth. This is part of how we ascend as a team, how we ascend individually. We got to take this kind of with that approach as much as it is right now. Even for the guys that are going to be done, some of them plan to play professionally afterwards. So you're ascending your game even now as you grow. So there's a purpose in this, and this can really, if we address it the right way with the right mindset, and our hearts are postured in the right direction, with the right approach, I think we can continue to play good ball, and we can continue to grow individually. Keep focusing on individual improvement, and not individual advancement. I think we'll be okay. Well, we've been very disciplined with our guys this season, and what you have to understand is when you're starting a program kind of from the ground up, as we are, your returners are the ones that coach the incoming guys. So, the same reasons why we might have lost a game this year will be the same reasons why we win a game in the future, because those young guys that are returning will be able to communicate the message to the guys that are coming in. It won't be from coaches anymore, So for us to hold those guys accountable early was really important, Obviously, I haven't been able to be as tough on them as I wanted to, because our bench has been so short, so they've been able to play through a lot of mistakes, and but for their individual growth, I think that they couldn't have asked for a better opportunity or a better scenario, to grow, because the way you develop is through playing. You can't practice all day. I mean, you got to be on the stage when the lights are on, and they've been afforded a tremendous opportunity this season. That's actually been my biggest obstacle. I've invested a lot of time into thinking about the message that I want to deliver every time I'm in front of them. I don't step up in front of them without notes, because I think that those moments are really important to the overall kind of feeling and emotion of the team. So I really try to deliver messages that they can take with them, and certain messages that they need to apply at the very moment. So it's taken a lot of thought, and when you're struggling like this, you can't go up there and just deliver the same message. So I probably got a book that I can write at this point of positivity, as far as our season goes this year.